Hey everyone, welcome back to Shop Life. This is my first ever Q&A video. I had asked everyone to leave comments and questions down below on the video where I discussed how I got into cars. If you want to leave more questions, feel free to leave them down below. If I don't answer them on my main channel, I will try to answer them throughout the vlogs that we're making on Shop Life Vlogs. So go ahead and start asking a lot of questions. So let's go and get started with the questions that I'm going to be answering today. First one is going to be from Jaques NB, Jacqueus NB. He left a whole comment. I appreciate all the support, man, and let me go ahead and answer your question. So the question is, how do you keep your head straight? I'm guessing this is a very figurative question in terms of how I'm balancing everything and how I pretty much function. So as you know, I do school, the shop, and YouTube as well. The main way that I'm able to function and do everything that I want to do is by prioritizing and managing my time. So as you guys may know, YouTube almost always gets the back burner. I mean, main reason for that is because I prioritize with school and the shop. I got to keep up with the business. I've got customer cars and stuff like that, so I've got to turn those around on a specific time. And school is very important as well, so I always keep those on the top of the list. And then whenever I get a chance to, as often as I can, I try to make YouTube videos so that way you guys have DIYs, and I also get to advertise for the shop as well. I mean, it works. I mean, it helps me out just as much as it helps you guys out. The biggest thing on keeping your head straight, depending on how old you are, you always want to ask yourself, where do you want to be in 5 to 10 years? Based on that, you can go and start making goals, short-term goals, long-term goals. I've asked myself millions of times where I want to be in 5 years. I don't want to just be, a normal mechanic. I mean, I want to be able to expand. I want to have several businesses. So I try to set all my goals based on where I want to be in 5 to 10 years. I've got a pretty good idea of what I want to do, but I mean, that always changes. When I was back in 6th, 7th grade, I wanted to be, an engineer or something. And then once I got into cars, all that changed. So it's always changing, especially when you're younger. So you want to try to figure out at least a general idea of what you want to be doing and try to follow that path, whatever leads you there. And then the biggest thing, like I said, is time management. Almost all of my time goes behind the shop and school. So I barely ever have any time to do any other activities. And I mean, that requires a lot of time management. You gotta be very determined. So if you don't like what you do, you're not gonna be able to work those crazy hours. I mean, I probably spend 14 to 16 hours working every day and doing school on the side. So it gets very overwhelming, but you gotta know what your end goal is gonna be. And that's what has to keep motivating you and pushing you to do better. So once again, Jack, whatever your name is, thank you for the question and thanks for the support.
Watch his name be pronounced like Jack or something.
Alright, so the next question, by the way, this is not my phone, so don't judge. Next question is by Boz. Alright, the username is BOZS, the number 4 life. Great video. Could you maybe elaborate on the process you went through to deal with Copart and the best method of flipping cars like you mentioned? I mean, I can make a whole video about this question, but let me go and give a quick overview. So Copart, a lot of people have a lot of horror stories with Copart. I haven't had any horror stories. They're really good in terms of their user functionality, their whole user interface online. It's very convenient, especially for me, since I don't have time to go to all the auctions and whatnot. I'm able to do everything online, and that saves me so much time. So in terms of Copart, depending on where you live, you're going to have different types of requirements. So for California, in order to buy most of the vehicles, you have to have some sort of auto-related license in order for you to register and be able to bid on the vehicle. They do have some public vehicles available that have no license required. You can go ahead and do a filtered search on the cars by doing no license required. Back in North Carolina, you're able to purchase most of the salvage vehicles. Only ones that are license required will say dealer only or something like that. So depending on the state, the requirements are different. Your best way is to call your local Copart and ask them what is required to open up an account. So in terms of buying those cars, many of the cars that I bought on Copart were just for parts. There were a few that I ended up getting that didn't have much damage, so I was able to flip them. When you're looking for a flip on Copart, your best bet is to make sure you get one that has no frame damage. dealing with frame damage is a lot more difficult because then you have to get a body shop involved to get the frame straightened out. And I never ever would want to, I wouldn't ever feel comfortable selling a car that had a bent frame and then you repaired it, even if you're telling the customer everything up front. For me, that's the best way to do business, is to be completely honest. I never try to hide anything. I always keep pictures of when you received the car, when it was on the auction site. Try to document the whole process, have pictures for everything. That way, whenever you are trying to sell the car, you have everything. Also, try to do everything by the book. So depending on what state you are living in, wherever you're licensed at, you have a certain amount of vehicles that you can buy and sell for each year. Don't try to go beyond that, because when you do, you'll start getting caught and you'll start getting fines and whatnot. You don't want any of that headache, especially if you're just flipping a few cars here and there. If you start having to deal with that, all the money that you made flipping those cars, you're gonna put towards legal fines, whatever you need. So the best way, find something that's not too expensive, find something that everybody wants, and find something that doesn't need too much work. Your best bet, go with something that's hit in the front, because most of the front end parts are very easy to replace. So I will try to make a whole separate video on what you should be looking for in terms of buying a flip. So stay tuned for that. So hopefully that answers, gives a quick overview of your question. So the person is Lycan ZHP, guessing he has a ZHP, lucky guy. So the question is, what is your most favorite list of top E46 information and maintenance websites that I can use to learn about my car and get repair videos and advice, and why? Alright, so first of all, videos, can't go anywhere else but YouTube. I mean, there's so many people making videos out there. It doesn't even have to be E46 related. If you're looking for some general stuff, that's available. Just search for whatever you need and you'll be able to find it. Quick tip, do not just follow one video. So there's so many methods of doing one single repair. Try to do your research. So look at other people's videos as well. So even if you're looking at my video, I mean, don't just go out based off of mine. Go look at other people's videos. You'll find some information that's going to be different. Some people go into more detail, some people don't. And then that's pretty much it for videos. And then in terms of other general information and DIYs, you can go on E46 Fanatics. If you have an E46, that's your one-stop shop. I mean, you can find anything you need on E46 Fanatics. If you don't find it on there, check out Bimmer forums. That's another good resource. Or, I mean, your best bet, just Google it. I mean, whatever question you have, you put it in Google, it'll index all of those sites, so you'll find it from any of them. And just use your common sense. I mean, there's DIY videos out there of people that don't know what the hell they're doing, and they'll tell you to do something just like like for example, the car behind me, the wagon that we bought. I'm guessing that guy watched a DIY video on how to clean your engine, and he sprayed tire shine or Armor All, whatever, over the whole engine, and pretty much just made it a greasy and dirty mess. Don't follow that. This is from Moby or Mob. I'm guessing his name is Mo, and then his last name starts with a B. But he comments a lot on our videos. Thanks for commenting, man. Appreciate all that support. Alright, so the question is, why do you continue to study? Do you not see the shop business as a long-term career? What are the benefits of further education when you are already in the car business? That's actually a really good question. When I was younger, even up until high school, I was always a straight A student. I mean, I was always smart. I never had any issues with school. Even after high school, I've never had any issues with school. So school for me, it was always one of the biggest things that was, encouraged and pushed upon. I've always had that in the back of my mind, and I've always wanted to be able to get that education. And no matter what happens, I mean, I could break my arm doing something and I can't work on cars. What am I going to do then? If I don't have an education, I don't have a backup. So regardless of how the shop does, with that education, I can always find a job. And with the experience that I've already had, I can always find a job. So education for me is more of a backup, and it's just so that I can say I did it. I mean, if I quit now, I mean, I'm almost done. If I quit now, I might end up regretting it later on in life. I could do a lot more for the shop if I wasn't studying, but once again, it's good to have a backup. And do I see the shop as my future career? Yes, I mean, shop is always going to be there. I do see it as my future. I might not be the one that's working full-time, but I do see the shop and the car business as my future. Here's a question from Bucky Barnes. I'm not sure if that's his real name, but Bucky Barnes. Question is, for the Q&A video, explain what the F a swap is. A swap is whenever you change the engine, transmission, whatever. You're pretty much swapping something out for something else. That's the best way to put it. Alright, next. Mobeen asked, why do you sound like a slightly older me? Not sure, Mobeen. I might be a little bit older. That's why I sound a little bit older than you. Next question. Xprox Silence. Damn, where do y'all come up with these names? Where did you learn everything you know about BMWs? Go watch my video. Oh, that was the video that I answered that question in the video that you commented on. Just rewatch it if you didn't catch it the first time. Alright, next question. Baussinen. Baussinen. Alright, so the question is, how common is the subframe problem on the E46s? I can pretty much guarantee every E46 is going to have this issue later on down the road. Convertibles less, station wagons less, because they have a different structure. But what I would do is just reinforce. If you have an E46, go ahead and drop the subframe. I'm pretty sure by this time you're going to need new bushings as well. Go ahead and drop the whole rear end, reinforce the subframe, do the structural foam as well, change all your bushings, put everything back in. Now you don't have to worry. You don't have to worry about it anymore. It's going to always be more common in manual cars because they're going to be driven a little bit harder, so it's going to put more stress on the rear end. And also, if you're in an area where it's going to be rusting a lot, you obviously want to go ahead and check for any rust in that area because it's going to further weaken the whole structure. Alright, next question. This is by TR4G. What is the most expensive mistake you have made so far on a customer's car, and how did you deal with that? That's a good question. Most expensive mistake I've made on a customer's car. Alright, so most expensive mistake I've made on a customer's car. This had to deal with ordering parts actually. So I had a subscriber and customer come in approximately 6-7 months ago. They had a E46 that someone had already done a manual swap on, and they were having issues with the clutch and as well as the clutch pedal and all that. So we went ahead and decided to replace the whole clutch and pressure plate and all of that. So when I ordered it, I didn't really look at the transmission, what year car it came out of or anything like that. So I ordered the whole clutch kit for the year of the car. So when the clutch kit came, the teeth were different. The spline was different. So what I had to do was I had to order another clutch kit that was made for that exact transmission, and I had to eat the cost for the clutch kit that I had bought. So that's about the most expensive mistake I've made. The next question, same person. Has anyone come back with complaints about a job you have done? Was it something simple? And again, how did you deal with that? Alright, so yeah, I've actually had a customer come back. I've had 2 customers come back regarding brakes. So the main reason they came back, one of them was not either one of our faults, not the customer or my fault. It was a 2011 Volkswagen Jetta, and they had came in on a Saturday. There weren't many parts available, but I tried to get as best OEM quality as I could. We replaced the front rotors and pads. The rotors and pads that came had a manufacturing defect. They were making noise every time you pressed on it. Like after like 30-40 miles, they were already making a lot of noise, squealing and stuff like that. And it was just a manufacturing defect, so I went ahead and replaced the rotors and pads with a different brand, but still OEM quality. And I ate the cost for labor of doing it twice, and I mean, that's how I dealt with it. And the other complaint that I had was also from a customer. They had a newer 7 Series that they came in for brakes. They had went to another shop before that had quoted them a ridiculous price, and they came to me. They had called me earlier, and I had told them that I do not recommend replacing just the pads. You want to do rotors and pads at the same time. They insisted on just doing pads, so I went and ordered pads. They came in, we replaced the pads, and I told them even when I was working that the rotors have a crazy lip on them, and they didn't want to do it, so I replaced the pads. They drove it out. Next day I got a call saying it was squealing and stuff. They came back in, turned out the rotor where the lip was had chipped, so that's how bad the lip was. It had chipped off, and it was trying to wear through that pad, causing the noise. So how did I deal with that? I told them, I had told you guys from the beginning, so you're going to have to replace the rotors and pads again. And on that occasion, I did have to charge for labor again because I had already mentioned it before, so I wasn't going to eat the cost for that. Alright, so that's it for this Q&A. I know I might have stretched it out a little bit too much, but thanks for watching, everybody, and I really enjoy these questions, answering as much as I can for you guys. So feel free to leave more questions down below. Even though it may not seem like I respond to everybody, I do try to read as many as I can. And once again, thanks for all your support. We're almost at 25,000 subscribers now, and I can't be grateful enough for all the support that I've received. Be sure to check out ShopLifeTV.com for the t-shirts that I sell, and pretty soon I'll be putting decals and other merchandise on there as well. Be sure to check out Selena's channel to keep up with the LS swap on the E46, and go check out the vlog channel where you can follow me around on daily activities that we do. Thank you guys.